or the pioneer of that office, Mr. Uko, for the good work he did for this nation. I support, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Manje, member for Kajiado North.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this chance to contribute to this motion and say I support the appointment of Janet Nancy as the new Auditor General. Also congratulating Robert Ouko for the work well done. I want to tell her that this is a very challenging position that requires somebody who is independent-minded, who will serve Kenyans. Because at the end of the day, our country is not fully developed because of the way we spend our money and the way we audit what we contribute. Actually, the main idea behind Kenyans coming together is to bring the resources together and try to do what people cannot do individually. Hence, these resources, when it is brought together, should be properly audited so that we can achieve development in this particular country. So she should be one of the people who will make sure that the country is developed by making sure that these resources is taken to where it is supposed to go. Also, us as Parliament should make sure that we give enough resources for this office to operate. Because most of the cases, the previous Auditor General was complaining the resources given was not enough. And the resources that is supposed to safeguard is a lot. Therefore, the resources to safeguard this kitty should be equivalent and should be more to make sure that he has auditors in every sector and every part of the country. Mr. Speaker, in the previous times, there is a time I was in Public Accounts Committee, and the Auditor General was telling us there are some counties that are normally not audited properly because of the issue of insecurity and such kind of things. It is my take, if the public resources cannot be audited, then there is no point of giving resources on those areas. It is as simple as that. The Auditor General should be given all the necessary security he requires to go and audit those particular areas. Otherwise, money gets lost in that area, and the areas do not grow because of that lack of that audit. Mr. Speaker, also I tend to think us as Parliament have also a big role to play to make sure that the public fund is properly utilized. Because if you check the kind of reports that we have in Parliament and they have never been implemented, then it means we have also to come out strongly and say each report of the Auditor General should be implemented to the last point. Because there are so many recommendations and they are never implemented. Therefore, it becomes like just a report like any other. So, Mr. Speaker, I tend to think if we implement half of what the Auditor General in this country has recommended, we can make a very big stride in development in this particular country. Mr. Speaker, I also tend to think we should devolve auditing to the last unit, because if you check the way we are losing resources at the county, then it means we have to do something about it. We cannot just let it go like that. We have to make sure that the resources is well done. And I want to say Nancy is capable because she's an IT expert. She can do audit, the current audit of preventing more pilferage of public fund instead of the traditional audit where you expect to go and audit papers. So she should use the IT knowledge that she has to make sure that she does, as we procure items, then they are audited at the same time. Mr. Speaker, there is a current kind of performance audit, which I think she should embrace instead of the traditional one. That one, I think it can really help. And also making sure that the projects and the documentations correspond, because sometimes you might get good books, but when you go to the ground, you don't get the projects. So what is in the field and what is in the paper should correspond. So I think she has a major task that she has to do, but we pray for her. Let her be independent. Let her make sure that there is no collaboration between the procurement officers, auditors, and implementers, And by so doing, she has to come out strongly on the ground and make sure that she breaks the cartels that go to the ground and make sure that the corruption continues. So she has a major role to play. I wish to support her and wish her success in her new role as the Auditor General in this country. I support her.